Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Coach Terrance Mathis. I'm here to tell a story about my destination and me conquering stage 4 cancer and the drugs that actually were issued, to me through this time, and some of the other things that I used to actually get past some of the pains and complications I was having. In about around January of 2017, I was diagnosed of stage 4 colon cancer. Throughout this particular journey, I was actually not afforded given the medications of hydrocodone, Verbezi, Lamodal, just to name a few particular opioids that I was given to actually help out with the particular pains I was given, because it was actually going to go against the radiation and chemo that was actually given me. So fast forward up to about around this time, right about around, I would say June. Some of the medications that I've been using all the way up to this time include Verbezi, hydrocodone, and Lamodal. Starting out with the first one, hydrocodone. Hydrocodone is an opioid, as of course, but one of the biggest things about hydrocodone is what I saw with using hydrocodone. This was actually prescribed to me by the doctors after going through cancer treatment. Hydrocodone actually, what it would do is it would actually take away the pain. Now that's what everybody knows to do, is to take away pain. But there's many other things that hydrocodone actually does just besides take away the pain. It actually is also used to slow down bowel movements, slow down basically ingestion inside your stomach. But one of the biggest downfalls I saw of hydrocodone, my use of hydrocodone, was just that first off, it was becoming, more addictive. I would see myself want to take, no more. I mean, it started out me taking one. Then it seemed like the more pain I would actually get in, I would take, 2, up to take 3. That's when you start getting actually the territory of taking a fatal overdose. Also, one of the things I saw with it was causing severe constipation. It was several times where I used hydrocodone where actually I was feeling stomach pains and throughout, the entire weekend, just off of taking just one hydrocodone compared to me just, using cannabis. A lot of times when I use cannabis, I actually found that would mimic the effects of hydrocodone, and I would get those same benefits, but I just wouldn't have the side effects of having stomach cramping or, feeling of indigestion. So that was just one of the main things that I was seeing going on with hydrocodone. One of the second drugs that I was received through my gastroenterologist was called Verbezi. Now this drug, it's an opioid too. It's one that's actually, it's not really commonly known, but it's being issued at this particular time by gastroenterologists. Now this particular opioid is supposed to help out not only with pain, but it's supposed to also help out, send out basically a transmitter to receptors inside your intestines to tell your intestines and also your colon not to fire as much. So basically it slows down the bowel movements by slowing down contractions of basically your colon. This particular drug was issued to me with the expectation that it was going to help slow down any bowel movements I was having, because the linings of my intestines were damaged throughout the course of radiation. I received basically 5 weeks of radiation. One of the biggest downsides I saw of using Verbezi was almost the same as hydrocodone though. Verbezi, they give you all these great things it's supposed to do. You're not gonna feel the burn inside your body that you got from radiation. It's gonna slow down the process of digestion. One of the biggest things I saw was appendicitis. I had a doctor, my gastroenterologist, she brought me actually back into her office, and this was about, I would say about 4 weeks ago. She called me and I asked her about actually getting a refill for this particular prescription. And she said, well, I just can't give you a prescription of it over the phone. And I was like, why not? And she said, well, I need to bring you in the office so we can discuss just actually the side effects that actually been ruled on this particular drug by the Federal Drug Administration. So, long story short, I come to her office and she asked me, was the drug effective? And I said, well, it's slowing down, a lot of bowel movements. I'm not having to go in the bathroom 25, 30 times. It's kind of, cut it down where now I can eat and not have to worry about food just going straight through me. So she said, okay, that's good. All right, now this is what I need to tell you. Have you been having any issues with any cramps? Well, slight cramps here and there, not really that bad. She said, well, we've just found out that it causes pancreatitis, and also, it could cause ulcers and severe cramps, as well as basically, that dehydration. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. I said, well, I've gotten a few cramps, but not that bad. So she's like, if you agree to these particular side effects, you agree to this particular drug, I continue to give it to you. So when I went home, I thought about it. I was like, wow. You brought me in, and you called me after I left the doctor's office to actually give me another opioid that you knew could be actually bad for me. Although you said it was kind of helping me, and I agreed that it was helping me out a little bit. You agreed if I just signed off on a sheet that this particular drug was helping me to give that to me. Although the side effects, I can have pancreatitis, I can have severe dehydration, severe cramps, but you still gave that to me. but it seems like there's a stigma with actually the use of cannabis. And what I saw with cannabis, I would get a lot of those same type of benefits without the side effects. A lot of times when actually I would use cannabis, I would notice that basically a lot of the techniques that were being taught to me in therapy were basically relaxation techniques. Those techniques actually help to slow down the bowel and slow down contractions of your bowel and your rectum. Kind of wild. I didn't know that, but that's what I learned from my physical therapist. So we would do all these breathing techniques. So one day, just in my use with cannabis, I noticed I was getting a lot of relaxation of my bowel without doing none of those breathing techniques, and some of the same benefits of hydrocodone and verbena: pain, slowing down bowel contractions, slowing down the digestive process, without actually going to taking some of those painkillers that are addictive, hard on your intestines. One of them, verbena, one of that particular drug, it says if you have a gallbladder, if you don't have a gallbladder, don't use that particular drug. So just think about those things. It's telling you off top that this could possibly kill you, or it could be addictive, if you use too many, compared to the use of cannabis, to where the only side effects you can see with cannabis is basically with me when I had cancer. Your eating patterns are going to get a little better, your sleeping patterns are better. I would be a lot more focused. I was able to continue to go to work. I worked throughout the whole process of chemo and radiation.